Thanks for checking out the podcast version of the show. You can find us every morning, 6 until 10 on Austin's 80s station, 103.1. You can stream us on the iHeartRadio app as well. Enjoy the show. The number to text is 737-301-9600, and that is 737-301-9600. My name is Sandy. This is my beautiful, talented, yet somewhat acerbic wife. Her name's Trisha.
Hi, everybody.
And we're off and running. The weekend's going to be here before you know it. And we're going to have school out with our daughter before you know it. And that changes everything.
Yep. No schedule.
No. I'm going to get her on a little bit of a schedule this summer.
She gets to sleep in for a while. That is for sure.
For a little while.
At some point, that's what summer's for, getting to sleep in. Because once she's an adult, the sleeping in is over.
Yeah. And she's got a busy summer with different camps and things that she's attending, different functions that she's going to be gone. There's a point this summer where she's going to be gone she'll be gone 13 to 14 days.
Yeah, 2 weeks straight.
Right.
She'll be gone.
That's I believe in July. So anyway, Trisha, what's the first thing that made you laugh?
Grape soda doesn't even taste like grapes, but it sure does taste like purple.
That is a fact.
Mm-hmm. That is exactly what purple tastes like.
It doesn't taste like grape at all.
No, not at all. Tastes like purple, though.
Yeah. And we use this Pedialyte drink, the little powders that you pour in, mix the water.
Electrolyte drink, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just called purple.
We just call it purple. It's so good.
When are you going to finish the 2 purple drinks you got in your
I'm
fridge?
sipping on them. I'm letting them last.
You tighten the top real tight?
Real tight, otherwise they go flat.
Right. But it's nice to know you got a whole nother one in there.
Yeah, for when I have a little sweet tooth attack, just take a few swigs of my grape soda.
Trisha loves a grape soda, but never drinks all in one sitting.
No, it'll kill you. An entire grape soda in one setting.
Yeah.
As an adult, it'll give you the sugar. It'll kill you.
Here's what we've got coming up for you. Of course, Trisha will be reporting the news and the story we'd love, but also going to share with you some pop culture moments that didn't age real well, did not stand the test of time, and Diddy is one of them.
Yeah, these are very, I hate to say it, but it's a good word, cringy. They make you cringe.
Yeah, I've got a huge radar for cringe, like doing things that in 10 years could be really cringy.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that. And as I mentioned, Trisha has the story we love coming up on Austin's 80s station, 103.1, and streaming at 1031austin.com. As it starts to warm up all over the place, different swimming pools are opening up and stuff. Where are you at on a public swimming pool?
Now that our daughter is older and she's not a little, and that's kind of a requirement multiple times a week for a little to swim, I am anti-public pool, especially when the one in our neighborhood, when I was down there with Landry in it a while ago, and I was reading the gigantic board of rules, and the last rule was no pooping in the pool. And in my opinion, that should have been the first rule. So that means that there are other things that can happen.
They shouldn't even have to put that up as a rule.
Oh no, this is the same country that has to tell you that coffee is hot. Of course they have to put that on there, but it definitely shouldn't be the last one, in my opinion.
It should be in bold letters.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I'm all right with the neighborhood pool.
I don't know. I've seen too many Band-Aids in the water.
Yeah, that's true.
From the Lester Home Studios, it's Trisha Delisha.
All right, so finally, the Menendez brothers got their chance. A judge has resentenced Lyle and Eric Menendez to 50 years to life, making them immediately eligible for parole after serving over 3 decades for that horrific killing of their parents back in 1989. Back when they were sentenced originally, they were sentenced to life without parole.
Oh, that's where I was confused. Okay.
They have now been resentenced to 50 years to life. They are now immediately eligible. The judge acknowledged the horrific crime, but was seemingly moved by their rehabilitation since they've been in prison. He said it's remarkable what they did when they had no hope of getting out. So also on that same vein, defense attorney Mark Garagos, he praised the ruling and he said it's a recognition that redemption is possible. So their whole thing is that it's not that the boys did not commit this crime, but it's that they have redeemed themselves. They have made themselves better. I like the remark the judge said about it's remarkable what they've done when they had no hope of getting out.
Yeah.
So what happens now, it doesn't necessarily mean they are getting out of jail. It just means they're eligible for parole. That hearing could come up next week, next month, 6 months. You have no idea. And you have no idea if they'll be granted parole or not.
Okay, so I guess that means, just so I understand, they resentenced to 50 years with parole. Because they've done 35, that means they're now eligible.
Automatically eligible for parole.
So after X number of years, they were then eligible.
Correct.
I don't think, I'm no legal scholar, but I don't think the parole board will grant them parole on their first hearing.
Maybe not on their first hearing, just to send out a sign of some sort.
Yeah.
Maybe they would be criticized too heavily if the very first time they were up for parole, they were granted parole.
And separate parole hearings, so one of them could and one of them couldn't.
Oh, really? I don't know. I mean, because their resentencing hearing was together.
Right, but their parole hearings are separate. So one of them, Lyle, could get it, and the other one, what's his name? Eric could not get it.
Yeah. And to go back a little bit, the former DA, George Gascon, he supported the resentencing, but he did not win re-election, and his successor opposed it. And all he keeps saying is, we are open to resentencing, or what he kept saying, we're open to resentencing, but they haven't fully accepted responsibility for what they did, that they've changed their story so many times over the years. So apparently he was overruled.
Yeah, I don't know where I stand on that, to be honest with you.
I don't either, because what they did was horrible, terrible, awful. But some things, like some crimes, you don't get the option to be rehabilitated.
Yeah.
And back when they were sentenced, it was not an option based on how gruesome and grisly the murder was, and premeditated, and all the evidence that went along with it. So I'm worried that now anybody who committed some horrible crime way back then could argue, but look at all the good stuff I've done since I've been in prison.
I mean, is there any part of you that's like, well, what good are they when they get out? What are they going to contribute to society?
How could they have any kind of a normal life?
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
People smarter than us, that's for sure.
I'm glad I don't have to decide.
Yeah, me too. That is the story we love. This is The Sandy Show. It's The Sandy Show on Austin's 80s station, 103.1, and streaming on the iHeartRadio app. All right, so I think we can all agree that Tom Cruise jumping on the couch on the Oprah show, probably the most cringiest thing or pop culture moment that really has not aged very well.
It was cringy then.
It was cringe the second it happened.
Yeah.
But
that was awful.
But there's other things from the past that have not really aged real well. And some of them, to be very honest with you, when I saw them, it was a reminder that they ever happened.
Yeah, I had forgotten about them.
When they were going on, but I don't remember them when they, I don't remember them since. For instance, remember when people were buying merchandise that said Team Aniston and Team Jolie?
Right. During the Brad Pitt, Jennifer Aniston breakup.
Yeah.
When he cheated on her with Jolie, and then people chose sides based on that.
Right. I mean, clearly back then we didn't have enough to worry about.
I guess not. Yeah.
The world has definitely changed, but still pretty cringy. Another one that I had completely forgotten about that hasn't aged well. Do you remember in the Fantastic Four, Jessica Alba in her underwear for just really no reason at all?
No, I don't think I ever saw that movie.
Oh, you didn't?
Which is weird that
I've
I
seen
wouldn't
the
see
clip.
that.
I've seen the clip. I've not seen the movie. But yeah, it was one of those things that's like, okay, we've got Jessica Alba. Let's just be crude and put her in her underwear for no reason at all.
Yeah.
None. The list of reality shows you could go on and on.
Oh,
for this.
definitely.
Like starting with Who Wants to Marry a Millionaire?
Oh, yeah.
Remember that one? Rick?
Just because he was a millionaire. Rick something.
Rockwell.
He turned out to be a really bad guy too, right?
I believe so. But why do we remember the name Rick Rockwell?
Because it's very Flintstones. In my opinion, that's why I remember it.
I remember as a kid, when I finally put it all together, that all of their names had to do with rocks. Right, Mr. Slate.
The Rubbles.
The Rubbles.
Yeah.
Remember that? Flintstone. It was funny. Speaking of shows, this did not age well. The whole idea of the Girls Next Door. Do you remember that? The show about Hugh Hefner and his three girlfriends?
Oh, that they were glorifying that he was this older man, millionaire, whatever, living with these three young girls as his girlfriends. And people were mesmerized by it.
And one of them, the girl named Kendra, I can't remember her last name, but she's since done interviews and stuff, and she's matured and grown up. She's like, I have no idea what I was thinking doing that.
Yeah.
I don't know why I did that.
Well, she's done another reality show of her own back when she was married to that basketball player.
Yeah.
And they've had a couple of kids and then they got divorced. Like her whole life is a reality show, basically.
Oh, what a terrible way
I
to
know.
live. Last one on this, and it rings really true right now with the Diddy trial underway in New York. Diddy hosted the 2005 VMAs and had celebrities on like Nicole Richie, Derek Jeter, the baseball player, talking about his legendary parties.
His freak offs.
Yes, boy.
You know, they say, though, that there was the party
And then the other.
and then the people left and then only the people who stayed knew what was going to happen. And then it was the freak offs. So
Have you read much of the details about what Cassie has said?
yes. About her testimony about, I had to stop. I was like, why am I reading this?
Yeah, me too. I did the exact same
I felt
thing.
dirty after I read it.
I was about halfway, 3/4 of the way through it, reading the article. I was like, I don't want to read this anymore.
I was like, stop. Why am I reading this?
Right. So just be careful with the things that you do, like especially in today's world where everyone's got a camera.
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of stuff I did. I'm sure there's probably a picture out there somewhere of me with a mullet.
Really?
Yeah, I had a mullet for like 2 days.
That's
right?
weird.
And so just things that you'll regret from your past.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're going to do your senior pictures, your graduation pictures, don't do anything trendy.
You're going to have them forever.
Yeah.
You're going to have them forever.
Pick something timeless to wear.
Yeah.
I remember my dad telling me that. Sandy, wear a blue blazer, a light blue shirt, and a solid colored tie because it will always be in style.
Right. So seniors, don't take your senior pictures with your teeny tiny kid backpack on.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like down the road you're going to be like, yes, it's a thing we did.
Your
But
Hello
why
Kitty.
do I have photographic evidence of it?
Exactly. She's Trisha. My name's Sandy. Stay with us. More coming up on Austin's 80s station 103.1 and streaming at 1031austin.com. Hey, it's Sandy. And you know, May's a great time of year. It's the best part of spring, the last week or two before it gets really hot with triple-digit heat. But some years, May also bring some crazy storms and high winds. With all the wild weather, the extreme temps that Central Texas throws our way, I'm pretty thankful for my friends Scott and Stacy Feller at Kangaroo. Scott and Stacy, they're great people. They've been part of the community for 25 years, and Kangaroo takes care of all my roofing needs, and they've done that for a long time. It's not just me. Scott and Stacy's team have helped hundreds of Central Texas families protect their largest investment, safeguarding their place where you raise your kids. That's why I appreciate knowing that my roof is always in good hands. So give Scott and Stacy a call. They'll hop to it. You'll see for yourself why Kangaroo is the best roofing company in town. You can find them online at callkangaroo.com. That's callkangaroo.com. Trisha, you know, still to come on the show is The Feud.
I know. I'm excited.
I am too. I hope I win today.
I don't think you're going to.
I've lost 5 of the last 6.
I mean, you had one in there that showed me you were still alive and kicking. I was worried.
I'm going to fight all the way through. Stay with us. Our version of the Family Feud coming up in just a little bit.
Here we are, caring and not caring, not caring and caring together. Oh, not caring and caring together.
Trisha, would you like to know some interesting and encouraging statistics about the number of 12th graders who smoked cigarettes in 1997 versus smoking cigarettes in 2023?
Oh, I definitely care. Gosh, I hope it's so low.
All right, you're going to like this. Everyone will. This is amazing. In 1997, 24.6% of 12th graders smoked cigarettes every single day. That's 1 out of 4 high school seniors smoking the lung dart.
In 97.
In 97.
Okay.
So 26 years later, in 2023, it had dropped to 0.7%. 1 out of every 143 seniors
Smoking cigarettes.
on a daily basis. Yes.
Okay. And does that even vapes?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Vaping has replaced some of that, but not as much as you think. 5.8% of high school seniors were daily vapors. That vaping,
That vape is bad news.
it just seems like the Wild West.
Yeah.
Like, what's in that stuff? It's like the early days of cigarettes.
Yeah.
They told people that they were okay. And
Right.
they weren't.
But I feel like they're very quickly, after saying it was okay or finding out that it's not, that like, what is that? Something I'm terrified of and I could never get it because I don't vape is something called popcorn lung.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
It ain't good.
And why would you vape if that was even an option to get that?
You said it best about smoking. You said if you're a person that starts smoking today,
In this day and age.
you're just dumb.
Yeah, with all of the information that's out there and
Yeah.
you choose to begin smoking.
Right.
Yeah, I have no use for you.
I don't know how you afford it. It's like $10 a pack.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
Trisha, care or don't care to know something interesting about the following music legends: ABBA, Beach Boys, Bob Marley, Diana Ross, Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, the Notorious B.I.G., Oasis, Queen, Snoop Dogg, and The Who.
Something that connects them all?
Yeah, something
I
they
definitely
all-
want to know.
they
I'll never
all
figure it
have
out.
this in common.
Yes.
Never won a Grammy. Never.
Oh, I feel
won.
like I heard that about ABBA.
It's hard to believe.
Yeah, that's crazy. The Who?
The Bob Marley, Diana Ross. Diana Ross never won a Grammy. Janis Joplin, Oasis, Queen never won a Grammy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That
to
is
think.
crazy.
It really kind of messed
Who's
up.
voting?
Right? Exactly. And finally, if it's anything like the Academy Awards people, they didn't even watch the movies and were
Right.
voting.
We just recently found out that they just now made it a rule that if you're on the Academy Awards board determining who gets an Oscar for the movies, right? An Oscar. I guess sometimes
it's
get
an
them.
Oscar.
It was just now instituted that you actually have to watch all of the movies. And I was like, they're just picking people having not even seen the movies all this time.
Just on what they've read
I
and
think that's
seen.
crazy.
Finally, care or don't care to know something really interesting about how much cats sleep, and you're going to be jealous of cats.
I'm going to be jealous of cats.
Yeah.
That's sad if I am, but okay.
Cats sleep so much, but by the time they turn 9 years old, they've only been awake for 3.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah. That's a lot of sleep.
They've slept 6 out of the 9 years of their lives.
They've only been conscious for 3 of the 9 years.
I know
that
some
they're
people
alive.
who do that.
Do you know
I
someone
do some
sleeps
people
that
who
much?
do that. Yep. That's crazy.
If you slept that much as a human, wouldn't you just feel like you're missing something?
I just feel like it just makes you even more tired.
Yeah, that's true. Then we were talking last week about there's some people with a genetic mutation that can sleep for 4 hours and feel perfectly fine.
Yeah, perfectly refreshed.
That'd get frustrating, though.
I know.
It
Sometimes
would.
you just want to be in the bed and sleep. I hate it when I wake up and I'm like, just go back to sleep.
Yeah.
You don't have anything you need to do. Just go back to sleep. And my body is like, nope, we're up. We're doing things.
I have the same fear you do about having to get up in the middle of the night to use their bathroom, that you're not going to be able to go back. I always do. I always fall back asleep, but I'm always afraid I won't.
My fear came from I went for this period of time a few years ago for about 18 months that if I woke up to go to the bathroom, I was awake for a good hour and a half before I'd go back to sleep. It was
that's
awful.
miserable.
Awful.
Miserable. That's Care Don't Care. Thank you very much for listening. We do appreciate it. Find us every morning on the radio from 6 until 10 on Austin's 80 station, 103.1. Ask your smart device to play 103.1 Austin.